Welcome to P Stories, to a tale that transcends the ordinary, a story that will make you question the very fabric of reality and the true meaning of destiny. Have you ever wondered if some people are born with a gift or perhaps a curse that connects them to the unseen world? Tonight, I'm going to share with you the incredible and often terrifying journey of a man who found himself an unexpected key in a hotel haunted by its past and plagued by a chilling secret. Our story begins in Thailand over 2 decades ago, around 1997, amidst the tumultuous Tom Yum Kung economic crisis that gripped the nation. This was a time when finding work was incredibly difficult. Our protagonist is a man we'll call Toad, who is in his early 30s. Toad had a tough life, growing up in a crowded part of the capital and only finishing primary school. He tragically fell into the dark side after graduating, engaging in minor offenses that escalated over time. He spent years living a reckless life until in his early 30s he had a profound change of heart and decided to turn his life around, vowing to leave his past behind. However, his criminal record, which showed up bright red in background checks, haunted him. No matter how many places he applied to, no one would hire him, leaving him on the brink of despair. One evening, exhausted and rejected from 3 different job interviews, Toad found himself near a large hotel around 7 p.m. as darkness fell. He just wanted to rest and smoke a cigarette by a low wall and some bushes near one of the hotel's 2 entrances. As he sat there, a senior security guard, much older than him, approached. Toad, expecting to be chased away for smoking, quickly apologized and started to leave. But to his surprise, the old guard smiled warmly and asked for a cigarette himself. After a brief conversation, the guard saw Toad's job application documents and urged him to apply at the hotel right then and there, even though it was late. He said, "I like you. I want you to work here," and ominously added, "You are a special person." This simple act of kindness, in a world that had repeatedly rejected him, filled Toad with hope. Toad followed the old guard's advice. The front desk staff seemed indifferent, but a week later, he received a call for an interview, surprisingly scheduled for 8 p.m. the next day. This late-night interview struck Toad as odd, but he was so thrilled to finally get a chance that he overlooked it. The interview was with Pung, the owner. Pung's office was unlike any other. It was filled with dozens of large Buddha statues, deities, and religious figures from various beliefs, alongside shelves overflowing with books on the supernatural. Toad felt it resembled a shaman's sanctuary or a paranormal research office. Pung, who was a tall, well-dressed man in his 40s, immediately addressed Toad by his full name, confirmed his extensive criminal record, and then, startlingly, said, "You're tired of being a bad person, aren't you?" Toad confessed his desire for a fresh start, pleading for an opportunity. Pung, however, didn't seem concerned by his past. He smiled, declared, "I feel a connection with you. This one is special." Give him a chance to prove himself, and offered Toad a position as a night shift security guard. This was the second time he heard the word special in connection with himself. Toad, overwhelmed with gratitude, dedicated himself to his new honest job. He worked from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. He often wondered about the kind old security guard who had helped him get the job. He'd asked around, and colleagues said the guard hadn't been seen for a long time. This seemed strange, but Toad was just happy to have a job. Soon Toad grew close to Pung, who, like him, preferred the late hours, often staying at the hotel until 4 or 5 a.m. All the night shift staff also seemed to genuinely like Toad, bringing him snacks and drinks at his guard post. He felt truly accepted for the first time in a long while. However, his peace was short-lived. Less than a month into his new job, around midnight, Toad was asked to call a taxi for a male guest heading to a distant park. After failing to hail one, Toad offered to drive the guest in the hotel car, which Peng permitted. Toad remembered this guest checking in 2 days prior with a female companion, seemingly a couple. As he drove, he felt an unease about the male guest. He wondered why someone would go to that park so late, especially when there was no night market. Then he thought about the guest's female companion. Where was she? Just as he thought of her, Toad glanced into his rearview mirror and saw her. She was sitting next to the male guest, naked, her head resting on his shoulder. The streetlights illuminated her pale skin, contrasting sharply with her dark red bruised face. Her neck was charred, tightening marks, with blood seeping out. Horrified, Toad slammed on the brakes, nearly veering off the road, and cried out. When he turned to look directly, she was gone. He lied to the startled guest, claiming a dog ran into the road, but his disbelief in the supernatural was shattered. After dropping the guest off, Toad discreetly observed him buying a long-distance bus ticket. He immediately called Peng, telling him the guest was suspicious and likely fleeing something. Peng promised to check the room. Toad, without revealing what he'd seen, discreetly followed the man. A moment later, Peng called back, shouting, "Toad, the woman is dead, strangled. Call the police and stop that man." Feeling a grim sense of confirmation, Toad confronted the man himself, leading to a fight that drew the attention of transport station security, who then called the police. Peng rushed to the scene. It turned out the guest had indeed murdered his girlfriend. Toad became a hero, though he only claimed it was a strange hunch. Only Peng, with a knowing look, said, "I know you knew, and you saw more than just a hunch. If you ever want to tell me, you can. I told you, you are a special person." The unsettling encounter left Toad questioning the existence of ghosts. He tried to forget it, but just days later, another incident unfolded. Around 11 p.m., while patrolling, Toad again wondered about the kind old security guard who had helped him get the job. He'd asked around, and colleagues said the guard hadn't been seen for a long time. Suddenly, a cold hand grabbed his wrist, and a figure leapt out, startling him. It was the old security guard he wanted to see. He laughed at his fright. Toad excitedly thanked him for the job, saying he'd wanted to meet him for a month. He smiled, offered a cigarette, and then began giving strange instructions. "It's good you're here to help watch over this place. That overgrown bush and grass, it's not clean, so sweep it up. The maids don't like to clean this entrance, they're scared. And tell them not to leave food offerings next to the guard post anymore."
Toad, confused but willing to help, agreed. He asked the old guard's name. As Toad turned away for a moment to look at the cleaning supplies, the old guard began to walk away, slowly at first, then rapidly disappearing into the darkness. He then uttered a chilling farewell. "I entrust this to you, Toad. Security guards are important. You are special here. I'm leaving now." The word special again. Toad, desperate for answers, started to ask what special meant, but the guard was already walking faster, seemingly floating away. Then, in a horrific instant, Toad saw the guard walk into the middle of the road like he was sleepwalking and get hit by a speeding car, sending him flying 10 meters. The car didn't stop. Panicked, Toad rushed to the seemingly lifeless body, which was terribly contorted and bleeding profusely. He waved frantically for help, but no one stopped. He ran back into the hotel, screaming for an ambulance, but the other staff, though startled, didn't move. They just huddled together, whispering, and one called Peng. Frustrated, Toad ran back to the road alone. But when he got there was no body, no blood, nothing. Just then, Peng arrived with several male employees, pulling a shocked Toad back into the hotel. Peng asked, "Toad, did you see Tom?" As Ted recounted the terrifying incident, the other staff, who had been listening, murmured in frustration. Pong said Ted would end this. "Ted is special. We were so happy. I told you, no one survives Tom. He asked for a cigarette and told him to apply here. This time is strange." Pong then explained the chilling truth. Tom was the hotel's original night shift security guard, deeply devoted to his job. He had died about 7 to 8 months prior, hit by a drunk driver at 11 p.m., exactly where Ted saw him get hit. But Tom's spirit never left. He would haunt and drive away any new incompetent night guards who slept on the job or drank. Most night staff had seen him, often in his mangled post-accident state, leading many to quit or refuse the night shift. The hotel's front entrance had almost been abandoned at night due to the hauntings. Pong, a keen student of astrology and the occult, consulted a monk. The monk advised that they needed someone with an executioner's horoscope to resolve the haunting. This doesn't mean a killer, but rather refers to a strong fate or horoscope where spirits fear the person and dare not harm them. Some with this also possess a special sense for the supernatural. These individuals are also known for their resolute, determined, and loyal character. Pong had searched all his staff but found no one. Then Ted walked in. Checking Ted's birth date and time from his application, Pong realized Ted possessed the coveted. It seemed Tom also liked Ted, recognizing him as the one who could take over his duty. Since Ted started, the hauntings had significantly decreased, bringing relief to the staff. Ted, though skeptical of such beliefs, then confessed seeing the female ghost in the car. Pong confirmed it, explaining that Ted's special sense meant he could inadvertently summon or perceive spirits just by thinking of them or wanting to see them, as he had with the female ghost and Tom. But the hotel's secrets and Pong's troubles went far deeper. The sources reveal that the hotel concealed an illegal gambling den and money laundering operation. Ted, while driving Pong more frequently, began to overhear phone conversations about Pong being deeply indebted to a dark capital group. This group, with vast amounts of dirty money from foreign partners, was demanding more than just interest. They had forced Pong to use his newly built resort, isolated near a border, as a transit point for human trafficking. This was a horrific operation where young women from neighboring countries, often just teenagers, were lured with false promises of good jobs in a third country, only to be exploited and abused. Those who couldn't be rehabilitated or fell seriously ill were lured with promises of being sent home with money, only to be murdered across the border. Pong was horrified, having witnessed such a disposal once himself. He was consumed by guilt and desperately wanted to stop this, even offering to pay off the women himself, but the syndicate refused. Pong confessed to Ted that 3 more victims were due to arrive at the resort next week, meaning 3 others would be disposed of to make space. He vowed to stop this cycle. Ted, feeling immense loyalty to his kind boss, insisted on joining him, reminding Pong of his executioner and strength. The next few days were tense. On the 5th day, Pong told Ted the plan was moving faster because the syndicate was suspicious. He instructed Ted to get the hotel van, remove the hotel stickers, and pick him up. Pong then told Ted to drive to an isolated canal and throw away his concealed illegal gun, saying, "We don't need it." Pong then explained that he had already moved the 6 women from the resort and hidden them with his doctor friend. Tud was shocked, asking how Pong had bypassed the two syndicate guards at the resort. The doctor, whom they met to pick up the women, later explained the terrifying events of day 2. Pong had gone to the resort alone. He feigned a medical visit for the women, then distracted the two syndicate guards with expensive food and drinks. While they were distracted, Pong subtly dosed their food and drinks with a ghost-summoning poison. This, Pong claimed, was a powerful curse from a master shaman he knew. He told the doctor that the guards would die between midnight and 3 a.m. After leaving the resort, Pong and the doctor waited nearby. Just before midnight, Pong recited something from a small piece of paper for half an hour. When the doctor returned to the resort, both guards were indeed dead. Pong had taken a life, or perhaps his poison had taken effect to save others. Tud was stunned by Pong's incredible sacrifice and courage. He truly saw Pong as a guardian angel. They then embarked on a long journey, successfully transporting the 6 women across the border to safety, giving them money to start new lives. The women knelt and thanked Tud and the doctor. The doctor told them to thank Pong, who was still resting in the van. But chillingly, the women who spoke Thai told the doctor they didn't see Pong in the car. Tud, however, looked and saw Pong still sleeping in the back. After dropping off the women, the doctor and Tud checked into a hotel around 4 or 5 a.m. Tud slept in one room and Pong and the doctor shared another. Around 10 a.m., the doctor woke Tud up asking if he had seen Pong. Tud hadn't. They went to eat, still no sign of Pong. The doctor called Pong's mobile phone and a police officer answered, stating that Pong had been found shot dead 2 days prior. The doctor rushed back to the hotel they just checked out of. Tud, in disbelief, called his own hotel and the front desk staff cried, confirming Pong's death and asking Tud why he had claimed Pong sent him to get the hotel car. Tud rushed back to the hotel where he and the doctor had spent the night. The doctor was there, distraught, holding the car key. He called the night shift staff who had checked them in. When asked how many people had checked in, the staff confirmed, "Only 2, sir." This was the devastating truth. Pong had died 2 days before this entire journey. The Pong that Tud had spoken to, driven, and witnessed crying in the car was his spirit performing his final sacred duty. His spectral presence, powered by his immense will and love for humanity, ensured the women's rescue and the syndicate's downfall. The human trafficking network was eventually dismantled thanks to his last heroic act.
Tud continued to work for the hotel for 8 more years. The gambling den was shut down. Pong's mother managed the hotel for a few years before selling it. Tud eventually left to start his own business. His special senses remained, but he learned to control them, understanding that spirits should not know you can perceive them, lest they become consuming. Over time, through frequent temple visits and good deeds, his ability to see the unseen faded. Tud, the special person who never wanted to be special, realized that Pong had been his guardian angel. This extraordinary tale reminds us that life can be stranger than fiction, and that even in the face of immense darkness, there are always individuals like Pong and Tud who will rise to challenge evil. It reminds us that good and bad exist in a constant cycle, like 2 sides of a coin. If we strive to be good, we will inevitably attract good people and good things. even if it means encountering the extraordinary along the way. Thank you for listening to this incredible true story. I hope it has captivated your imagination and left you pondering the depths of the human and spectral spirit. If you enjoyed this tale, please consider following for more stories that will thrill and amaze you.